What's up, Wellies? I'm Dave Householder here at the World Wide Well, and blessed to be bringing you your daily dose of biblical encouragement during discouraging times like 2020. I'm looking at Micah chapter 5 right now, and this is 720 some years before the birth of Christ. Micah is living in the time of the fall of the northern kingdom, which happened in 722 BC, and the Assyrians were besieging Israel and Judah. And he's going after some things, going after the heart of the people, making sure they understand what's going on. And two very encouraging things happen in this chapter. The first one is in verse 7, and that has to do with the remnant of Jacob. Jacob, of course, is another name for Israel. And he says the remnant will always be blessed. The remnant is always going to inherit creation. The remnant is going to inherit the promises. Now, we might feel sometimes as people of faith that we are not in charge, and it feels like that in chargeness is slipping away, and we are losing our influence in the country. And what Micah says here is that that's not the end of the world, because the remnant, not the majority, the remnant is the one, the faithful remnant, is the portion of society which inherits the promises. And this has always been true. So stay faithful. Stay faithful because we are the heirs. Everybody loves an inheritance because it's one of those things we don't work for. One of my fondest wishes is that one of these days I'll wake up and some granduncle I didn't know about with no heirs is going to pass away gently at an old age and send me a check for $1 bazillion. That'd be kind of cool. That's an inheritance. And our inheritance as the remnant is all the promises of the Word of God. So that's good news in hard times. The second thing is this quirky, really specific prediction about where the Messiah will be born. And this is, like I say, 720 BC or so. But you, O Bethlehem Ephrathah, who are too little to be among the clans of Judah, from you shall come forth for me the one who is to be ruler in Israel, whose origin is from old, from ancient of days. Now, this is a prophecy that the Magi picked up, and the Magi are basically Persian clergy, and we don't know that there were three of them. They weren't kings, they were Magi, which was the clergy of the Zoroastrian sect in modern-day Iran. And they were the ones who came seeking the Messiah. Well, actually, they were following the star, and they found out from Hebrew scholars that the Messiah would be born in Bethlehem. And King Herod tried to kill all the babies from there and everything else. But this is a fantastic, interesting prophecy from 720 some years before the birth of Jesus. You might say, well, Jesus was really just trying to look like he was fulfilling all these prophecies, but it's pretty hard to fulfill the one prophecy about where you're going to be born. That's really difficult to do. And Jesus, of course, was born in Bethlehem. So there you have it. But what I want to invite you to is an Advent season, a pre-Christmas season, that is less hectic than other ones. There is a silver lining with this whole COVID pandemic. Most of us have wished for a long time for a more peaceful Christmas season and less commercialized, less glitzy, more joyous, more relational, more spiritual. And this is the best chance you're ever going to get to do that. So I would just like to invite you to a calmer Christmas season with a little bit less tearing around and a little bit less task orientation and a little bit more spiritual orientation. And this passage reminds us of Christmas and part of God's grand design, that help is on the way. And that's what Micah was saying to the people of Israel, that at some point help will be on the way. And we look forward to the return of Christ. And we all believe that the remnant will be blessed and help is on the way. That's the good news for today. And I'll talk to you again tomorrow.